Hollywood these days has been struggling to find actors with the chops and credibility to be the next generation of action heroes. The current crop just isn't cutting it, which may be why a blast from the past is enjoying a comeback and more. It's Chuck Norris, back and bigger than ever. Here's ABC's Bill Weir.
Chuck Norris has two speeds: walk and kill. There is no chin under the Chuck Norris beard, just another fist. Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands. They are now known as the Islands. These are just a few of the thousands of Chuck Norris facts found on dozens of internet sites which draw hundreds of millions of hits. They adorn college campuses.
Chuck Norris, when he gets drunk, he doesn't throw up, he throws down.
And they are quoted during military briefings in Iraq.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know when Chuck Norris is going to kill you.
His film career peaked in the 1980s with such blow-em-ups as Delta Force, Code of Silence, and Missing in Action 1, 2, and 3. But somehow, the bearded B-movie star has recently and suddenly become a postmodern Paul Bunyan, a source of comedic myth-making, the symbol of justice-dispensing manhood, all of which amuses and confuses Chuck Norris.
America is not a democracy. It's a Chuck-tatorship.
I don't know, Bill. I don't know.
What are your favorites?
They wanted to put Chuck Norris on Mount Rushmore, but the granite wasn't tough enough for his beard. or Chuck Norris, when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push up, he pushes the earth down. I think, how do these kids come up with these?
Does it make you smile? Does it make you nervous?
I just take it as an extreme compliment that these, it started with the college crowd, then it moved down to the high school crowd, now it's in the middle school crowd. It's mind-blowing, truthfully, but I take it as an extreme compliment from these kids.
These kids might never recognize this kid, raised by a single mom in Oklahoma. He joined the Air Force as a scrawny, uncoordinated teen after high school, discovered martial arts while stationed in Korea, and came home with a black belt. He began competing in order to drum up business for his fledgling karate studio and was good enough to win 6 world titles.
You became a world champion because you were faster naturally than someone else, tougher, you wanted it more?
Well, if I use one word, I would have to say timing. Timing, I think, was my key thing. I was able to figure out the timing to close the gap between my opponent and myself and move back, and that was, I think, the key.
He also carried a quiet confidence noticed by one of his students, Steve McQueen. The film icon encouraged Chuck to try acting, and after a host of failed auditions and bit parts, he created his own character and had a friend write it into a screenplay titled Good Guys Wear Black.
I have no acting experience. I decided I was going to play a very strong, positive image of a character. And this is what Steve McQueen actually suggested I do. He said, try to make this character as much of you as you possibly can. And play that strong, silent type. Because when I did Good Guys Wear Black, I had a lot of dialogue.
Most of our expedient wars ended up in failure.
So Steve, after he saw it, he said, well, let me give you a suggestion. Cut your dialogue down dramatically.
Less talking, more kicking became the hallmark of a career that spans more than 24 films and 1 television series. Canceled years ago, but emerging as a pop culture touchstone.
All I have to do is pull this Walker Texas Ranger lever.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, I want to thank you for my family, my 2 beautiful sons, Walker and Texas Ranger.
In the eyes of the Ranger, the unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right, 'cause the eyes of the Ranger are upon you.
Any wrong you do, he's gonna see.
Walker Texas Ranger ran 8 seasons, but his character has achieved syndication immortality. The late-night reruns are regular dormitory fare.
Say goodnight.
And when an 18-year-old student at Brown University created the first Chuck Norris fact generator, the response went far beyond the college crowd.
There are people in jobs where they are bored, and there are people in the military, and then there's just everyone else who I can't figure out. Overall, we've gotten about 140, 150 million hits.
When I say Chuck, you say Norris. Chuck! Norris! Chuck! Norris!
This dorm floor at the University of Texas is devoted to all things Chuck.
As a kid, I grew up thinking we won Vietnam because of his movies.
He's like this elevated superstar, badass, butt-kicking dude, but he's also just a good, nice, normal guy.
We really enjoy watching his show. Okay. Honestly, we will sit down and be quiet and watch his show.
Yeah. See, that's what I can't figure out with this whole thing is are we mocking Chuck together or are we worshiping him?
I think we're admiring him.
You never make fun of Chuck Norris, you get a roundhouse kick.
At Camp Victory in Baghdad, trading Norris facts is called up-chucking, and odes to him are even graffitied inside latrines.
I think it's kind of going back to the World War II days where you have Kilroy was here, and Kilroy's not around here, I don't guess, and we got Chuck Norris instead.
If we brought Chuck Norris over here, the war would end a lot sooner. Send us home.
Well, you know, I'm a spiritual leader of about 8 platoons over there, and that's a real compliment. And in one particular group, I'm their icon, and I'm on their weapons.
The founder of the World Combat League, Mr. Chuck Norris!
On this night in Austin, he is the icon of the World Combat League, enjoying the action with his wife Gina, mother of his 5-year-old twins. Kicking and punching as a team sport was his idea, and he desperately wants this league to succeed because all profits will go toward his real passion, teaching martial arts to inner-city kids.
I've graduated 40,000 over the last 13 years, and many of these kids going on to college and becoming successful in their own right. And if they were here right now, Bill, they would say to you, it's because of this program that I'm not in prison or dead today.
It's violent. It seems that teaching kids how to punch and kick.
Well, you would think so, but actually it's just the opposite. See, it's the bullies who are afraid are the ones that do all the fighting. It's the insecure kids. And when you develop that security in these youngsters, they have no reason to fight. This is, to me, the most gratifying thing I've ever been able to do.
Can I ask your age?
I'm 66.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, but I say I'm 39 with 27 years experience.
But according to the Chuck Norris fact generator, Chuck Norris does not age. He roundhouse kicks time in the face.
Yeah, that's what I do. Actually, that's what I do.
Chuck Norris talks to ABC's Bill Weir.